Since 1923, the Chicago Golden Gloves boxing tournament has been one of the great sports traditions in Chicago. Former Chicago Golden Gloves boxing tournament champions include Muhammad Ali, Joe Louis, and Sonny Liston. As we continue to celebrate incredible black women during International Black Women's History Month, the Chicago Defender is pleased to share the story of Cassandra Lewis. While the number of women boxers has increased over time, women are still underrepresented in the sport in the areas of officiating. Cassandra Lewis is one of only 2 black female officials in the Illinois LBC. She became a USA boxing official in 2017 and has served as a judge for almost 900 amateur bouts and desires to go pro soon. We spoke with Cassandra Lewis about breaking barriers in a male-dominated industry, the Chicago Golden Gloves boxing tournament, and why she wants more women to pursue opportunities in the sport. Can you kind of walk me through how you got involved in the sport?
So basically, growing up in a house full of guys, right? So I have 7 brothers, and of course, yeah, 7 brothers. My mom and dad were there too. There's a bunch of us. It's 10 kids. So being raised in a house with 7 guys, it's always physical, sports, rough and tumbled. But, that's part of the culture, right? Especially in a house full of guys. So with boxing, it was always just part of the culture at home. How I actually got into it with our LBC, I was going to a gym. I have 2 daughters. Mm-hmm. We would go and we would work out at the gym in boxing, and our trainer, his name is Jimmy Quiter, and so and Jimmy was going pro at the time. And I said, Jimmy, I says, well, he invited us to Golden Gloves to watch him box. And I said, well, Jimmy, who are those people around the ring? He was like, oh, those are the officials. So back at the gym, I'm like, well, how do I become an official? And Jimmy had no answers. Okay. Jimmy couldn't tell me nothing. And he's like, I don't know. So I was talking to my daughter, Brazil, my oldest child. And I was like, well, what should I do? And Brazil was like, just call Golden Gloves. I said, this is a good idea. Young brains, they just call, Ma. It's no big deal. And so I emailed Golden Gloves. His name was Larry Roski. Mm-hmm. And Larry put me in contact with Celestino Ruiz. Now, Celestino Ruiz was the chief official of Illinois. So if you look at Celestino's career, we're talking over 30 years in the game. He left Chicago, a worldwide referee. He's now in Vegas doing all the big, beautiful fights. And he's my mentor, my big brother. And so Larry put me in contact with Celestino. Celestino talked to me, and he says, well, come out and shadow. So shadowing is basically you go to an event and you sit next to an official and they see how you see a fight. And they judge how you judge. Mm-hmm. And then after that, they saw that I had an eye. So they had to go take tests. And then after taking my physical, there's 2 tests. There's a safe sport exam, which basically prepares you to watch all the signs of child predators. You don't want that around these young folks at all. And also there is an exam, and you have to score 80 or better. And it's about the sport. And, boxing, quality blows, all of these different things that one needs to know to properly judge a fight. And so I passed the test. I shadowed some more, and I became an official.
What is that like as an official, as one of the few, women who are involved as officials? What has that been as far as your experience in officiating these fights, being part of this industry that primarily is male dominated?
So with being an official, there are women, not enough, but There are women. There are 2 African-American women here in our Illinois LBC. Mm-hmm. They were open armed to me. They welcomed me in. They loved on me. They mentored me. Our LBC is very, very warm and welcoming, especially with women. They want more involved. Now, we do have lots of female boxers. Of course we do. We have lots of female boxers. Amateur, going pro, and pro. We have wonderful champions here. We have wonderful boxing women here in Chicago. They're fantastic. But as an official, they're fantastic. Yeah. But as an official, we don't have enough women. We just don't. But they've been nothing but kind to me. I don't have a a bad story. You know what I mean? And if things come up that I don't like or care for or thought it wasn't quite right, you go right to the LBC. You talk to our higher ups, which is basically our board, and everything is corrected. But it's only been so far so good, and I'm grateful. It's been great.
I think that's awesome that there haven't been, you know, these bad stories, that you're having a good time, and that they've been so welcoming and inclusive of women, and desire to have more. How could a woman who's interested in officiating, how can she get involved?
Talking to me, girl. I'm your hookup. I got you. I want you. We want you. All you have to do, all my information, I'm going to make sure you have it so you can post it or whatever. But also you contact Chicago Golden Gloves. I think it's .org, Chicago Golden Gloves, because it's a nonprofit. And that's another thing that people don't understand. When we're officiating, especially in Chicago Golden Gloves, our LBC, this is a nonprofit. This is volunteerism. You know, so we're getting those young, talented guys and girls into a sport that can get them off the street, give them some focus and a future in this beautiful sport. But women, contact ChicagoGoldenGloves.org. Contact me. I'll walk you right in.
What can fans look forward to this weekend with the championships?
Oh my gosh, rough and tumble fabulosity. You know what? You're talking about good sportsmanship, some excellent boxing, some wonderful quality young fighters coming up in the game. You're looking at future Olympians. You're looking at future pros. And to catch them now while they're honing their craft and becoming who they are to be in the sport. Excellent fights. Male, female, even the novice fights, you know, to see those older people get in there who aren't really trying to be a professional boxer, but still love the art and sport of boxing. You have to come out and share it. Everybody's warm and welcoming. You know, in boxing, it is the most, this may sound even like a little off, but it's the friendliest group of folks you ever want to meet. You know, like they're the friendly, like you would think that all of us, especially with the boxers or the officials, there's a certain attitude or something that comes with it. The nicest bunch of people, you know, in the ring. Yes, they're gladiators, they're warriors, they're pugilists. You know, they get in that ring and they handle their business. But outside of that ring, you're talking some of the nicest people. If you want to have a good time, you want to laugh, you want to play, you want to just sit back and be a part of this boxing community, because we are a family, a beautiful, dysfunctional family.
So I cannot thank you enough. I'm looking forward to coming and watching this. So it's been a pleasure speaking with you. The Chicago Golden Gloves tournament will be held this weekend, April 7th through April 9th at the Cicero Stadium at 1909 South Laramie. For tickets, visit www.chicagogolden.gloves.com.